Hey everyone! Today we're going to be working on some eye-hand coordination with some juggling. And we're going to be using some scarves today, although if you remember in school we had those really light scarves. I don't have those at home and I'm sure you don't as well. But what we can do is take whatever else might work for us. In this case I have some bandanas that I'm going to use. And if you have some bandanas in the house, or maybe if mom has some nice scarves that she doesn't mind you using, you could use that. But to be honest with you, you could also use some tissues or even some paper towels. You could use those as well, or even some smaller hand towels. So I'm going to start out with my Pooh Bear one. As many of you know, I'm a huge Pooh Bear fan. So I'm going to get started with this one to start. Now, when we toss our scarves, we're going to do one hand at a time. And remember, we want to toss it above our head and come down. We're going to catch it with our palm to the ground. So remember, we talked about our hand being like T-Rex. And T-Rex is going to eat that scarf. So I'm going to toss it up and I'm going to catch it with my palm down. And I want to do this many times so that I'm super comfortable with that one hand. So for you, it may vary on how many times you want to toss it and catch it, but as always, we recommend at least 10 to 15. And of course, if you can do more without getting too bored, try to do more. And you'll notice every so often I shake it out. We don't want it to stick together. We want to try to keep it open. That'll help it float a little bit more, and which is going to help us to be able to juggle it. So once I feel comfortable with one arm, I'm going to switch and go on to my other arm. So now, again, whichever arm I start with, my right, my left, dominant, non-dominant, doesn't matter as long as I use both of them and I do them equally. So you want to make sure, again, if I'm doing 10 or 15 on my right, I want to make sure I do 10 or 15 on my left. Now, if I struggle a little bit more on one side than the other, then it's important to continue to work that side a little bit more so you become more comfortable with it. Now, once I do one hand and I do the other hand, what I'm now going to do is cross to the other side. So right now it happens to be in my left hand. I'm going to cross it so that I catch it with my right hand. And now I toss with my right and catch it with my left. So I'm going to cross back and forth, just getting comfortable again, making sure that I can cross my body and snap it down with my T-Rex hand position. Now, once I feel comfortable with one scarf, then I can always add a second scarf. So I'm going to add a little patriotic bandana here. And now I'm going to do one at a time. Again, now I can go a little bit quicker, but just getting more practice with each hand. Once I feel comfortable with that, then I can go two hands at the same time. And again, every so often, you may want to open up the bandana, make sure it doesn't stick together. And now we're going to go two hands at the same time. And with this, we now have to broaden our focus. Before we were focused just one at a time. Now I have to open my focus so that I can see both and catch both of them out in front of me. Once I can do that, then what I might want to try to do is cross, cross, catch, catch. Cross, cross, catch, catch. Cross, cross, catch, catch. Again, just like we did before, we're crossing the body and catching with the opposite hand. And again, we may not be perfect here, and that's okay. Always strive to do your best, and if you drop them, that's all right. Just pick it up and start again. And you'll even notice not all of my tosses are perfect. I'm still getting used to these bandanas as well. Once I do a cross, cross, catch, catch, maybe I want to try two in one hand. So in that case, I'm going to take one, put it in the scissors, and one in the claw down at the bottom of the hand, and I'll toss one, then the other, and I'll just keep tossing back and forth. Oop. Dropped one. Now if I do one hand, like we've talked about, try to do the other hand. Ho! All right. Now, if I feel comfortable with both of those, and as again, you can see these come down a little bit quicker than the scarves do in school. So it's going to take a little bit more practice. Now we can add a third bandana. And with this, what I might want to try to do, again, is that cross, cross, catch, catch. But I'm really going to have to go a little bit quicker here to try to get, all three going and keeping them up. So we're able to get a little bit. Again, we don't expect anybody to be perfect. Just continue to do your best. And as you can see, I was moving forward a little bit. If we're able to, we want to try to stay in one spot without moving around too much. Now, those are your juggling scarves. Hope you have a good time. And next, we'll move on to the juggling ball.